And if you do, it's like one thing. Like you could use the in-game comms instead of like Discord. I was thinking like you could have a team where you have different Discord, different like rooms that you have for like each lane, 3 lanes, and then once like the laning stage ends, you combine them and all 5 players like start talking again, because there's a lot of comms that happen between players in lanes. And so to like a degree that's kind of happening for them because they're speaking in Russian during the laning phase, and only like the information that is pertaining to the other players will be communicated to the other players. And I don't know, it's just kind of cool. It's a cool thought. It's a cool experiment. I'm sure other teams have done it before because Dota's a very like international game with people speaking tons of languages, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is a very interesting thing to consider during laning and whatnot. But we do have a little solo action now. We've got a little basketball video, your favorite challenge here, Jenkins, and it's going to be Zayats who's going to see if he can beat the record.
Yeah. Wait, I should take them out. Because they're going to block. And too much. Too little. Too much.
Halfway.
Not gonna. How much minutes I got?
5 seconds.
Oh, so that's the last one.
3, 2, 1.
Almost.
Done.
Well, that was not Zayats, obviously. That was Puppy, and I don't think I've ever seen such a tall guy struggle that hard with basketball.
I love how into it he was. Like he wasn't even saying coherent sentences. He was just mumbling. He's like, okay, I'll go for the last one. Like he's just so into like trying to actually like min-max it. That's such a Dota player thing. It's like, dude, you're doing like a funny bit of content using some like child's basketball toy. He's like, okay, trajectory, change the angle by 62 degrees. Like, all right, dude, relax, Puffy. Relax.
I mean, that's just a gamer mentality, right? Like, you and I have had a lot of conversations about this. Like, even if you go to the gym as a gamer, and maybe you're not, you know, super into getting swole, but like you look at these challenges and you're just like, okay, last time I did this, how do I make this more efficient so that way I can beat this record and then get this out of it, blah, 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 blah. Like, our brains are wired, like, constantly to be at the most peak efficiency for whatever reason. But, yeah, he got 3 baskets. I think the best we saw was the, who was the support player? God, I can't remember now.
Geez.
It was a support player, though, that just absolutely killed it. I want to say it was X-Nova.
Was it X-Nova? I think it was X-Nova.
I think it was.
I remember Tomato absolutely failing.
Yeah,
and you just remember the failures. That's you know, the failures in life. The negatives.
Bad.
Oh my God. Team Secret gets Chen again. I feel like when Puppy is Chen for the last 5 out of 6 matches and they've won all of them, it's a real consideration to ban it. So you know Spirit has some prep. They've prepped for the Chen.
I mean, they've got their game faces on for sure here. They want to take the series off of Secret. They want to be the Secret Slayers. But a lot of healing coming out from the side of Team Secret. You've got a lot of global as well with the Hand of God. You've got the Dawnbreaker ultimate. So wouldn't be surprised to see someone who's like going to pick up a vessel, or sometimes, you know, just the AA is never a bad idea. But with this Winter Wyvern pickup on Spirit, most likely not going to be seeing the AA, if I had to guess.
Yeah, that's more of a I mean, it's actually pretty good against both of these heroes, but not exactly for the same reason AA is. Like, you counter the Dawn ult with the Winter's Curse. You just curse on top of the Dawn ult, and you know, she comes into the fight and beats the crap out of like whoever she was trying to protect. And then it's also Chen does a lot of physical damage. Penitence is an ability that's getting the respect I think that it deserves these days. People are like even maxing it, going a 4-4-0 build, going creeps and penitence. And so you protect against that with the Winter Wyvern. The Cold Embrace You deal with the creeps in that way too. You can clear the creeps with the Winter Wyvern Splinter Blast, and also if you Winter's Curse somebody with a bunch of Chen creeps on them, they're gonna melt. So, you know, it's a good pick. It's not as like a hard counter to the healing as the AA, but it's more like this deals with the creeps better than the AA would.
That makes sense, yeah. Gives you that little bit of shoving out of the lane. It gives you the heal during the laning phase and whatnot, so. Let's see what they're gonna pick up next. Yeah.
Just want to see that beautiful intro one more time before we switch to the players, as we can see, we can look in their faces, in their eyes, and determine what it is that they're drafting. And I can tell you,
right, what is his eyes telling you right now?
He really wanted the Bloodseeker to get banned out. He really doesn't want the Bloodseeker to. And I'm not saying that because I'm in the game right now and can see the Bloodseeker was a banned hero from Team Spirit. It's a banned hero from Team Spirit. I am in the game. Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. We're back.
We're back up. Yep. Somebody's cat just ran over the production PC and, you know, hit a couple buttons. Cats do that.
That's right. So do dogs.
That would be a lot heavier, I think.
Hamsters eat wires as well, actually.
This is true. Hamsters do indeed eat wires. So do cats. So do dogs. Your dog is quite the gobbler too, from what you've told me.
She definitely gobbles things that you should not gobble. Things that have been gobbled before once and fully digested. If you get where I'm going with that. Speaking of fully digested, I don't know where I'm going with that, but Nyx Assassin.
With that one.
Nyx Assassin has been banned. Phoenix as well. Team Spirit has been favoring this hero. One of the few teams that thinks that it's really strong, even if there's not any like really obvious synergy with it. They just believe in the hero and first phase it. And maybe Miposhka just enjoys playing it on this patch. It is really good at like holding lanes, and I feel like against a lot of these like summon or push type heroes like Beastmaster, Chen, having a hero that like sits and just delays a push is always incredibly valuable, which of course Winter Wyvern does do. It's just that Phoenix maybe is like a little bit better at doing it. Fire spirits.
I think Miposhka has always just really loved this hero. We share that in common, but having, you know, the Sun Ray and the Egg combination too now, like having that as a shard, it really gives so much more to these fights, because not only are you saving yourself, you're also making yourself a target, but you're also able to still contribute with, you know, either a heal or a percentage-based damage against some of these tankier heroes. So it makes sense that they'd want to remove it, but feels like the team's really taking their time and trying to figure out, you know, what's happening with this draft, who's going where, what's going to, you know, give us this edge that we need in the laning phase. And the tanky boy taken out. We've been seeing a lot of these more tankier, you know, initiator, frontline sort of things trending back into play.
Yeah, Clockwork is like just seems to be a rising hero. Dealing double damage to creeps is really nice. It means you can actually clear creep waves and not be just a useless pile of garbage that has no farm. You can do something in downtime, which is nice because he doesn't show on the map a lot. So if you can like jungle a camp while not showing, it's really strong. And Spirit, even though it's very likely to be Puppy playing this Chen, of course, they still ban the Clockwork, which is the other Puppy hero that he's been playing. They think like even as a 4 position, the clock is good, or maybe some other position if you want to go real crazy with it.
There are definitely options there, but I like how just, you know, obviously Team Spirit's draft a little bit more telegraphed with having the Razor. Been seeing the Razor off lane quite a bit. And the Wyvern, most likely, I mean, we have seen a couple Wyvern mids, but generally speaking, especially like when you see that Dawnbreaker, it's picked up as a support, as sort of a counter. So a little bit of flexibility coming out from the draft here on the side of Secret. They could opt to run the Dawnbreaker as a mid. They could put it in the off lane. You could also just run it as a support. Chen, pretty clearly, you know, we know he's a support. So
that's the 5.
Yes, that is the 5. I like how you say that like a little kid who looks at like a chart.
Bananas are yellow. Yeah, I have seen, however, I have seen in EU pubs, there are a couple of Chen spammers that are getting very high rated playing this as a mid laner.
Ooh.
Now, I don't know about Nisha Chen. That sounds very weird.
I feel like if it was 9, yeah, I could see that. But Nisha, more traditional. As we say traditional,
wow.
we get a techies.
Okay.
Zayat's techies. Let's go. I'm here for it. This man is quite the master with this hero.
Yeah, that's his main guy. He's a hero spammer originally, and that's the one that he spammed that he was very famous on. So I mean, I'm always excited to see techies played on this patch by these like grandmaster players, because it's just different from how it was for ages. You know, this rework. Like I'm interested to see what people's take on it is. Do they go for like the ethereal blade and try to like one-shot people? You know, what's the build? So that'll be fun to see.
We saw a lot of this actually in NADPC. We had a couple specialists that would play it. Moon Meander is one of those that come to mind, but also B-God over on one of the NA teams was quite the techies player. That and Skywrath Mage, those were the two heroes that he would play quite a bit. But you could see,
yes, he got kicked after carrying him very hard. He got kicked. Yep, that's an NA special right there.
But you can see how much damage this hero can actually output. And the way that it can actually be quite useful, because they reworked the entirety of it. You know, it used to be like you were playing your own mini game back in the days of techies that Slacks used to love, but it has changed quite a bit. It's a lot more active and can catch you off guard. And it's a really good solution too to the Winter Wyvern heal, right? The fact that you've got Cold Embrace, it blocks out the physical, but not magic. And boy, do they have magic damage now too with a Bat Rider pickup.
Oh man, this is always like the late phase part of the draft where a Bat Rider pick feels so bad to play into. Like, you bat against the Cold Embrace, you can get tons of stacks of napalm while the person is embraced, and of course they're going to be standing in the Firefly for the entire duration of the embrace. It completely destroys Razor. It's one of the few heroes that can man up on a Razor and out damage him. Monkey King gets cut off the trees by one of Bat's abilities, gets knocked off the trees by another. It's like, yeah, this is a great Bat game. They need to answer it. Team Spirit needs to answer it in this next pick. I don't think you just leave this Bat unanswered.
But on the flip side of things too, right? It is a little risky for this Bat Rider, because if he, dives into position and they don't have enough there to kind of be there for backup, you can get Winter's Cursed. You can have a Tusk, drag people into like Snowball and try to get him off guard. You've got the Monkey King ultimate as well that you have to kind of make your way through. So like there are solutions to it. Is it a really good pick? Yeah, absolutely. But there are some ways that you can adjust and play just with what the heroes they have. And then also to keep that other point in mind, they have a Dawnbreaker, they have a Tusk. We saw GH do so much with this Tusk against Dawnbreaker. It has a lot of solutions in order to interrupt any sort of channeled spells, the Starbreaker in particular, because not only do you interrupt it during laning, but you can also interrupt it later on when she gets that shard with the Walrus Punch going through the magic immunity.
Yeah, it is really strong. I like it a lot. Also, Tusk technically still could be played in a couple of roles here. Like, we could see a collapsed Tusk, that's possible. He's done it before. I don't know what position they would think is better, because it is one like saving grace to the Bat Rider. Snowball's pretty good against Lasso, and you can snowball and it's for the entire duration of napalm. So you can like wait out napalm stacks that way too. I mean, it's obviously scuffed. You'd rather purge. And they go for a Pango instead, just a fully magic immune hero that can decently lane against a Bat Rider. You just push the wave. That's all you do. But I have seen Bat also win that matchup before. It's like a very skill-based matchup.
Okay. That'll be a lot of fun to watch over in that lane. So we do have one final pick here. We do need a hard carry for the side of Team Secret, and we've seen a bunch of those removed already. There's no Ember, there's no PA. Tiny was removed earlier, though it's not quite as popular in that core position as it used to be. So what plays at the tempo that they want? Because these are very fast drafts coming out from both sides, right? They need something...
Like Weaver is a pretty obvious one. Yeah, it can get out of the monkey ult Tusk does nothing to a Weaver. You can get on the back lines and get a Wyvern. You beat Razor in lane 2.
All right, there you go. You're earning those dollars there, Jenkins. Right on the money.
Yeah, it's like, it's that, or I've seen Faceless Void against Razor too as like somewhat of a counter, and it's pretty decent. But Crystallis likes his Weaver, so he gets it.
All right, now taking a look at both of these drafts, which one, just based off the draft alone, don't take into account, the fact that Zayats is like, a master techies, but which one are we liking?
100% secret. 100% secret.
100% secret.
I'm like,
all right.
I am always
that bat
behind.
and the Weaver, like just the cherry on top.
I don't care about Weaver. Like I'm always behind a late phase Batrider pick where it's not banned and it like has a good matchup versus 2 cores in the game. Maybe not. It's not the greatest versus a Pango. Like it's a magic immune hero that's gonna be able to dispel the napalm stacks off of himself. But also a bat when he gets an eventual BKB can grab a Pango who's rolling as well. So it's not like Pangolier is like, oh, the last pick countered the Batrider. It's not like that at all. Like this is a really free bat game against Collapse on the Razor and Yatoro on the Monkey King, and that's what matters. And Wyvern too. Like all of Wyvern saves don't do anything to bat. You have to curse him, which feels pretty bad.
Yeah. All right. Well, gonna get into this first game of Team Secret versus Team Spirit, and we'll see if Secret can continue the trend of just going undefeated, or if Team Spirit maybe has a couple tricks up their sleeves and will be able to stop their reign of terror.
And both teams starting out with the smoke, which seems to be the play right now. Even if you don't go for any like 5-man rotation, it's just to get some really solid early game vision down where you don't get scouted out. Because otherwise, like if one team smokes and the other doesn't, the one that smokes just sees the other one warding. So it's kind of like a prisoner's dilemma sort of scenario where you just have to smoke in Dota now.
Be interesting to see how the vision does indeed actually go down here, as Nisha and Collapse will run into each other here in the mid lane. I love the Cybercats little stickers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just dropping all their signs. They're in a good mood here. Aww.
Nisha's doing the high 5 bait.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying for it.
Just dropping all their little signs here in the mid lane. You love to see it. You love to see them having a good time. Does that one say there's no vision here? There's 2 different ones. One says there's a ward here, and the other one says there's no. And I think that says niet. Or no? My Russian is very rusty. I'm not very good at reading Cyrillic.
I don't know what that has to do with the cat.
It has nothing to do with the cat. It's just like the cat is cute, and it's stating like there's nothing here.
I see. Yeah. They just wanted to put a cat in the game.
I mean, who wouldn't want to put a cat in the game?
It's true.
All right, so a little bit of pressure being placed over into Zayas. Gonna go drop a sticky bomb, but this is not looking great for him, I think. No, all right, it's gonna be Mira who dies first, and Zayas to die second.
That's his full null tally for lane. That's nice. I imagine he's gonna buy that up. This hero really uses mana regen very effectively. Is spam out sticky bombs. Huh, he's actually not going to buy it. He wants to go for the full urn. Oh yeah, I've seen him do this build. This is the build that he's been doing. Urn on techies. You're very active, so it makes sense.
Yeah. And it begins. The sticky bombs. This is a very cool Wyvern set. I don't think I've seen this one. A lot of slow being applied over to Zayas, though, so he's got to be very careful. So they do have the Jingu stacks now. They have the flying vision, too, so it's not like Zayas can really hide that easily, but does end up drawing them away from the wave. It's going to have a little fight between the supports here, and Yathro going to go right back to the lane and duke it out here with Rezo.
Do you remember when techies used to be slow? Like,
yes.
This hero's base stats are incredible. Super long range, longest range in the entire game, 300 move speed, 6 armor at level 1, 51 damage. That's actually not bad. His base damage is not pathetic anymore.
This is not looking good for Zayas, though. Yeah, with that Arctic burn and the slow. We talked about them being pretty fast, but not fast enough when you've got that burn on you.
Yeah, Wyvern Monkey. That's a double slow lane. Get those Jingu stacks up. Resolution. He's got his work cut out for him in that lane.
Checking in on the bottom lane here. Just a little bit of harassment going back and forth, about what we'd expect.
Puppy went for the heal build in this lane. He's got the headdress and Divine Favor, level 1. So some regen, some armor. Some Chens do skip this, but not in this game.
I think this makes sense with the aggression that this lane can possess here, with the fact that, you know, Collapse is going to be spamming out, you know, getting the static link plasma field, plus the tag team here from Mira. It just makes sense that you want that little bit of extra insurance.
Yeah, this says to me that they want to play this lane like kind of defensively for the first couple of levels, rather than like being too aggressive, which makes sense with like a Weaver versus a Razor. Eventually, the Weaver will be able to push the Razor out of lane. So why try to make plays early when you can just wait?
We've got the Cloak Aura from the Centaur Courser here in the bottom lane too, which should help a little bit with some of this magic spam.
Yeah, big damage on that little guy too. 19 plus 8. That's like half a hero.
And checking in over on the mid lane. I like how they took this ward and they placed it a little further back here. Not the typical positioning that you see, but it does prevent it from immediately getting dewarded and gives you that little bit of high ground vision.
Yeah, you
Kind
just
of a
want
neat
that high
play.
ground. You want the high ground vision against Bat, because then you get the stick charges. It's really important to have high ground vision versus Bat. Ooh.
Ooh, oh man, look how low Miposhka is sitting. Zayats is trying to get these final hits off. It's going on a long chase. The sticky bomb coming into play will slow down Miposhka just a bit. I don't know if he's going to be able to get this uphill mischance. Oh, Fairy Fire gets used. Poshka snapping up the bounty rune. Doesn't want to let Zayats get that. Turns back around with the Splinter Blast and does have the Arctic Burn. So he's got his own range here. That sticky bomb doesn't actually connect. Zayat sitting at 18 hit points. He's trying to just break these ankles. But at the end of the day, Miposhka with the Arctic Burn is going to be able to collect.
It doesn't even opt to use the salve on Zayats. I think... Obviously, he wants to get the kill there, but I do think it's intentional that he's wasting so much time and dying, because with techies, like, you use the suicide and come back to lane with full regen, and he's kind of doing that. And Sticky Bomb costs a lot of mana, so he just wants to come back and keep spamming.
Oh, Puppy in the bottom lane. Those shards do connect with the tag team, the slow. They get a little bit of drain off of Chrysalis. Gonna see if he can get himself out of this predicament, but he's not going to be able to. Does get himself a little creep though, that Cobalt Foreman chasing after Mira, but
Techies is such a goofy hero to watch. I mean, Rezo is getting a lot of space from the shenanigans that Zayats is doing up here.
yeah, I think he's okay. He's sitting 20 and 7, which is pretty gosh darn good, considering that Yathrou is sitting at 22 and 5.
Yeah, I mean, against a Monkey King as a melee hero, that's never easy. I think Dawnbreaker is more of a spellcaster than a lot of other melee heroes, though, so I guess that is one consideration. Like, she can push the wave with Hammer.
Zayats to jump forward with the
That's
silence, followed up with the Starbreaker, and the Hammer should be enough here to finish off Yathrou, but they need to close the gap a little bit more, and he is life-stealing pretty well, as Zayat sitting behind here is going to fall to Miposhka. Eventually, though, they'll find the kill on Yathrou. So they'll end up losing that support, but they'll get themselves a kill on the safe laner. And as the mid lane, they get the Rolling Thunder applied over here to Nisha. Toronto Tokyo just kind of rolling around here in circles. They do manage to get the shards off, they'll pop him up to the higher area. He had the Swashbuckle coming forward, but Nisha, he's super fast, and Puppy is here to keep him alive, so... First Rolling Thunder coming into play and doesn't amount into a kill here for Toronto Tokyo.
That was cool. Nisha hid in a little crevasse there, and so Toronto Tokyo couldn't bounce around and get him, and then also knocking Mira up to the high ground outside of his own shards. That was like just sick little micro play from Nisha.
He is one of the best mids in the world. I'd expect nothing less from him.
I feel like, you know, if you put those expectations on people, eventually they usually like squander it. But like Nisha is the one guy that it's like everybody has these really high, like people appraise him very highly, and then he keeps showing that it's like, yep, that's me. I always perform. Like, all right, Nisha, relax, dude. We get it. You're an AI.
He can't relax. He has to be efficient. We talked about this. Dota players, we have to be efficient. If we can find some cool little trick to make our lives easier, we're going to use it. Top lane, the jump over onto Miposhka. They've got a snowball here as well, so they're gonna turn back around over onto Resolution. Yatoro clicking away, and they'll be able to kill the Dawnbreaker. They'll chase after Zayat's next. Nice shards, gonna block him from going out, so that's a double kill now for Yatoro.
Techie's lanes are so goofy to watch. I can't take it. He's just slowly waddling around, suiciding, almost killing himself. But great rotation from Mira. This is what I've seen for a lot of Tuskar lanes lately. Or sorry, not Tusk lanes. Razor lanes is getting the Razor some levels and then leaving him alone because he's so hard to pressure after a certain point. And he can very easily push the lane in like 1v2. And so it leaves your position 4 to run around and be active. But I do say that Miposhka has decided to rotate towards bot to support collapse.
They are trying to harass Mira here, top lane again, but Monkey King making his way over. I'm just gonna force him out of this jungle area. Nisha doing a little bit of stacking for himself as the 8-minute rune comes up. It's going to be a haste for Toronto Tech. Yeah, look at this. They scan. He's beelining his way down here. He's going to be looking for Puppy, no doubt. He's going to walk right into him. Start with Swashbuckle. Goes for the Rolling Thunder. Cancels out the TP. So he's going to keep bouncing around like a pinball over here until he finally gets the hit on Puppy.
Yeah, I like that Toronto Tokyo immediately used the Rolling Thunder there. We're like respecting that Puppy was going to immediately TP. That just shows like good respect for the plays that Puppy's going to make.
Good respect, and it also is going to open up this down portion of the map because Chrysalis now doesn't have anyone to protect him. Again, he is a Weaver, so it's not the end of the world, but it is going to make things a lot easier for Collapse. It's going to make Weaver a bit more vulnerable because Puppy's going to have to walk wherever he's going next since the TP did get canceled.
Chrysalis is really struggling in this lane, actually. It's 32-4 to 50-11 from Razor. This is my experience with this lane as well. Like, a lot of people pick Weaver into Razor thinking that, like, of course, the Weaver can, like, run away from the static link. And then Razor just never static links the Weaver. And instead, he constantly spams out the plasma field, maxing that instead. And Weaver's not actually that good at dealing with nukes. He has very little regen. Like, no natural way of regenning himself. He doesn't really build into regen items. People don't go Lincoln Sphere on Weaver anymore. So
I thought it was interesting they went for the Cloak Aura creep. That's the one that Puppy picked up to kind of try to deal with some of that, perhaps. Of course, we do have the Cobalt Foreman now who's chasing around Zayat. So he's going to have that little extra burst of speed. It's a 12% boost. He looks like he belongs with the techies, like...
Yeah, he does.
They all hang out there. Snowball, though, top here, making the moves over onto Yatoro. You can see the teleports coming out, though, immediately. As it looks like Reza's going to teleport away. Nisha not looking to be so lucky because they have the Rolling Thunder. They have the vision on him, so they'll end up losing the Bat Rider. And over here on the side, Zayat, he's chasing after Mira. He wants this kill. They have the tag team, though. Toronto Tokyo going to be able to go forward, and yeah, they finish off the techies.
Spirit's working them, man. They're working them. Like, Toronto Tokyo has been super on point with his rotations, either like aggressive or defensive. Rotating towards the top lane. I mean, this is really important too because you know that Bat Rider, like, this hero was picked to counter the Monkey King. So you know Nisha is going to follow around Yatoro at some point in this game. So Toronto Tokyo is very on point, like, knowing that Nisha is going to be up here.
Nisha teleports down to the bottom lane. Doesn't get anything out of it, so he's just going to have to jungle for now. Get some of the wards off, at least.
And Nisha's got his boots of travel, so he's pretty happy in this game, at least. Getting to that point is the hardest part on Bat Rider. And after this point, he gets to have the fun of just, like, running at people in lanes very quickly, doing 1 million damage.
Oh, they went for the Dust play over on Crystal's. Not there, but they do see Nisha. Nisha does have Lasso available. Doesn't quite have the Firefly up again, but the two supports over on the side of Spirit, along with Toronto Tokyo, they are all bottomed. They're going to try to put that pressure down. Do have to be careful, though, of course, because there's a Dawnbreaker in the game, so any sort of initiation they make, unless it gets canceled, we can see Rezo just showing up to this fight.
Nisha's going for Witchblade on Bat Rider.
They're gonna use the curse. I was about to say, looks like they're gonna go use the curse, use the tag team, use the snowball, stun lock the Weaver, and there's nothing that Casals can do there.
Misha or Mira. I'm losing it. Mira also waited until the Winter's Curse ended to get the Walrus Punch damage, because without it, maybe it's even possible that Crystallis gets his ult off.
Top lane, kill on Zayas. Yatoro starting to wind up here for that multi-king ultimate, but it doesn't have it because they do manage to go use the lasso and they'll kill the Mucky King. But on the flip side of this, you see that Team Spirit was able to take themselves a tier 1 while they were paying a lot of attention onto this top lane.
Mucky King, dude, we're both losing it at this point.
We're both losing it, yeah.
We're completely losing. I was calling Kaka cuckoo earlier today, too.
Oh, man. I've done that before. There was one game. Oh, it was Fly, and apparently my brain kept saying Flea, and I didn't even notice it.
Yeah.
That's a dead puppy. And it might be a dead Mira, because Rezo coming in with the ultimate. A leash up Rezo, though, and there's not much mana left over on here. And he's just going to try to put down as many spells as he can. Zayas getting chased down here. Nice Boundless coming out from Yatoro. Sticky Bomb gets dropped, but he's already dead.
Yatoro seems to keep rotating towards mid lane in each one of these games, like very early on, where a lot of other carry players are not doing it. It seems that he's identified that this is just, for whatever reason in the current Dota patch, good to do. Like, you show up as a strong carry and pressure the mid tower, and like it kind of ends up making space for himself too. Because all of this pressure goes mid and people are dead and the map breaks down, and all of a sudden he can farm wherever he wants afterwards.
I mean, I've always just loved seeing an active position 1, but I'm also a support, right? So support player, I like to just move around the map. I like to get kills. I like to see the opportunities, and I hate babysitting a core that's just going to consistently sit there in a lane and hit creeps. So I love the way that he's playing this here, and I love the way that Spirit is being super active together. It's definitely putting some pressure on the side of Team Secret. They do have that undefeated record right now here in the Riyadh Masters. See a Rolling Thunder as they're going to try to chase after Nisha, but he's used the Firefly. Zayas is nearby, and so is Puppy, though, so looks like they're happy with just giving him a little fright for the time being, and we do see the Battle Fury coming out now for Yatoro.
It's a good Battle Fury game. There's nothing really on Team Secret that's going to be able to outpace a Battle Fury. I don't think Weaver can outfarm. I don't think Batrider can really outfarm. And it's a way of dealing with the fact that he's countered by Batrider just by having more items.
Uh-oh, bottom lane, though, Collapse getting dragged back here. Maposhka trying to get into position. Does have a Winter's Curse. Could potentially try to drop it, but I think, yeah, they'll do it. They're still going to end up losing Collapse, though. Just too much burn damage.
Yeah. If you're Collapse, you're just like, okay, well, I'm in a game versus, like, I'm Razor versus Batrider. It's one of the worst matchups. You desperately need the BKB, which he is rushing, by the way. He just won a couple of stat items on Collapse and going for the BKB, which is the more than typical build with Razor anyway. But up until that point, anytime Misha makes a move to that lane, it's going to be a free kill. There's nothing to dispel the napalm stacks. I imagine after the BKB, we'll probably see a Lotus Orb from Collapse as well. Yeah. That's like a very popular item right now in general, and on Razor. Just kidding, he's going Sanjin Yasha.
Well, perhaps we'll see it picked up on another hero. Maybe one of the supports will get it eventually. But like you said, it does seem like an elegant solution to trying to deal with this Batrider.
Lotus is just like a dank item right now. Everybody seems to be going for it. I mean, Sanjin Yasha, it has a similar purpose, though. It's like if he gets lassoed, it's very short duration.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like he can BKB to take the napalm stacks off, and if he gets lassoed, it's short duration, and he thinks that's enough to mean that he can like link the Batrider and do enough damage to kill him in a fight.
Rezo picking himself up that invis rune. Does walk around these sentry wards, though. Looking to make a potential play, and in fact, we do have them jumping over onto Collapse. He has finished the BKB. So they'll turn their attention over to Rezo. They wanted to stun lock him so he can't pull himself away. Hand of God's gonna get used. Mira needing to be careful as he does get bounced back. There's gonna be the Rolling Thunder coming out from Toronto, Tokyo. Maposhka chasing after the Weaver. They've got to get their hands on Crystals. They've got to find a way to hit him, and they do indeed have another Sticky Bomb getting tossed out. Couple of clicks, a little bit of that defusal action coming out. Still chasing after Crystals, but not able to get the killing blow.
That is very good timing from Collapse. Like, Secret was going on him when he did not have the BKB, and it comes out right on the courier at the last second, so he uses it. It was a bit of a debate where he was playing, like, more aggressively because he knew that the BKB was coming on the courier. So he was, like, playing as if he had it when he didn't, and it's just funny. Secret at the exact same time, we're like, ooh, he's got no BKB. Let's kill this guy. Like, one more kill before he gets BKB. No, he had it. Toronto Tokyo has a Lotus, by the way, so they did end up getting one on him.
I like that. I think that's definitely value. Let's go in for the Boots of Travel next. And bottom lane, they use the lasso over onto Yatro. And this is not looking good for him because I think he is going to get absolutely stunlocked here. Can't even get the Boundless off, so a nice pick off going to the side of Secret.
Yeah, until he gets the BKB, anytime Nisha shows up in the lane against him, he's going to die. The saving grace, I suppose, for Team Spirit in this situation against the Batrider is that Nisha cannot be everywhere. If he's killing Yatoro, he's not killing Collapse, you know?
That's true. Oh, this double damage, this juicy double damage. Collapse will pick it up.
Where did Toronto Tokyo's bottle go? Didn't he have a bottle? Am I crazy? Did he not have one in this game?
I don't remember him picking up a bottle. I know he picked up that haste rune and it was immediately activated, so I don't think there was a bottle.
Interesting. Okay, no bottle Pango. Cool.
Big Boy Philly is found by the side of Secret. Always a nice item for your supports.
Oh, Nisha's going top.
Nisha wants this. Yeah, no lasso, but Solar Guardian coming in. The BKB coming out from Nisha as they're just gonna smack away at Yatro. He's trying, but he cannot survive this. In comes the rest of the team, though. They're gonna be able to link up Rezo. He's gonna have to teleport away. It's like he should be able to do it. Maposhka, unlikely to use that Winter's Curse at this time. Or maybe he just didn't have the vision.
No, he tried it. He tried. It's just he was like hitting from the max attack range and just didn't get in range close enough to use the curse. He was just out of range. That was like a blunder from him, I think, which is not common from Maposhka on Winter Wyvern. But
that's why I was so concerned. I felt like he was like, well, maybe we'll just let him leave here.
No, but that was a mistake for sure. That was not intentional. Like, he tried for it at the end, but he just was barely off the mark. Like, he was trying to be greedy with it. He wanted to get the kill without having to use curse.
It's a very rare thing from Maposhka.
He is a TI winner.
Fumble that. This is true. He is. He also likes cats.
I could see that from the I don't know if it was him putting the sprays on the ground. Somebody on this team likes cats.
Toronto Tokyo, I think, likes cats too. Everybody likes cats. Cats are great.
Not Purge, apparently.
Purge doesn't mind cats.
Okay,
Purge sends me cat videos.
Yeah, well, because he thinks it's funny that it's always cats falling and getting hurt and things like that.
No, that's not true. He knows if he sends me any animals getting hurt, I cry.
What need have I for invisible?
I get adorable ones. There was one with like a kid with like a cat blanket. A bunch of kittens. It was great.
You enjoyed the one I sent you that was monkey hitting head then crying.
Which one was that?
I sent you monkey bonks head and then cries.
I don't remember getting that. When did you send me that?
Oh, ages ago. That's a classic.
I don't know. I think you might have sent it to BSJ and you just forgot here. Roll forward here from Toronto Tokyo. Knock him out of the shards, though. A little bit of a blunder there because Toronto Tokyo not going to be able to continue his roll, but we'll push them away from this mid lane. They're just going to clean up the creeps instead.
They're looking for
perhaps
Rezo
jumping
bot.
on Rezo. Yeah, he's got the hammer, but it's going to get interrupted. The Walrus Punch coming into play. The Swashbuckle, the Shards, a little bit more damage, and this time they will be able to catch the Dawnbreaker. Yeah, Toronto Tokyo throwing out the tips. They're a little spicy today.
Yeah. This time Maposhka was in range to Winter's Curse.
Yes, I saw that.
I think he pump faked it too, just in case.
Zayas hiding behind this tower. We'll jump forward with the silence. The blast off. It's a lot of damage on Toronto Tokyo. He is gonna have to back off, but the rest of the team is nearby, and they see Collapso, the drag from Nisha. Poshka trying to get over there as fast as possible. Throughout the Splinter Blast is going to run into Crystallis, though, so we'll end up losing Puppy because of the BKB being used on Collapse. Able to sap some of that damage, able to get those right clicks off. I'm not sure if Spirit leaves here. I think they stay. Yeah, look at this. The boundless coming out from Yatoro, jumping down over onto the ground. They'll clean up Zayats. And they're gonna try to take down the puppy army as the Rolling Thunder from Toronto, Tokyo, popping over into one. Nisha is nearby, but doesn't have that last. So this tower gonna belong to the side of Team Spirit as they'll use the Cold Embrace to buy this one little creep a little bit more time. The fortification was used on the side of the Radiant.
Yeah, they're not going to commit for it. Zayats is almost respawned, and you get a couple of napalms on you from Nisha, and it feels pretty bad to push a tower. I mean, they don't need to go for it at this point anyway. With the Battle Fury on Monkey King, I think Spirit feels pretty confident going late. There's no way that Crystallis is going to be able to keep up with this. He doesn't even have a Maelstrom. He's gone for this Falcon Blade, Dragonlance build with the Deso, which is what we've seen him do lately. Likes the Deso a lot, but it means that he doesn't farm that quickly. It's more for fighting and taking objectives.
I mean, when you look at their draft, you assume that it is going to be very, very active. And we've seen a lot of fighting. I mean, we've got quite the body count already. Bit of a ping over here on Rezo. You can see they're starting to converge a little bit, but nope, gonna just focus. Hit some creeps, push out the waves. Being very patient on the side of Team Spirit. Blink Dagger picked up from Moposhka, so that's gonna be big. Positioning is gonna be so more just valuable for the side of Team Secret. Got the name Secret and then Spirit for whatever reason. My brain is just like, hold up, hold, save the right one.
Our brains are mush at this point.
It is the last day for us here for the B stream, so it's been fun though. I've been enjoying these matches. I'm enjoying casting with you.
Thank you. Yeah, the gameplay's been great too. So.
Yeah.
Top tier teams play for millions of dollars. What more can you ask for?
The mini TI, like we said. Nisha smoked up here along with Zayats. They do have the lasso, Firefly, but already Spirit, they just back off. They're like, okay, we chase after one, we didn't get it. No reason for us to push the envelope here. Maybe they go for a smoke, although they don't have any smokes right now over on Maposhka. Okay. Gonna punch a creep here, get collapse. Nope, Mira's gonna grab it up.
I like the resolution, by the way. He disassembled the Oblivion Staff for the BKB, and he did this before getting the Aghanim Shard. I think this is the less greedy build. Ooh, Yatoro.
There's the opening. Mid-potion. Oh, the silence, though, is not going to be able to go and get that Winter's Curse off right off the bat, but they still end up losing sides. Yatoro's still alive. He's just man-fighting everyone here. He's got so much life skill. As they kill Resolution, they'll get themselves Nisha, and they'll immediately collapse, teleport over to this mid lane. That was some
so
lightning-fast reactions.
I mean, it was so close to being a great jump. Like, it's so unfortunate when something like that happens in Dota, because I think that was the right calculation from Secret. It's just like, if they get slightly higher damage rolls on their hits, or maybe like Yatoro presses Mischief just a second later, he dies. He also had 21 charges. Oh,
I mean, it's all about the details, right?
He survived at 10% HP or less, and then all of a sudden heals to full because he's Monkey King. Like, of course, this hero Jingu is going to heal to full, standing in the Wukongs. Yeah, that's unfortunate for Secret. That was a good jump. I mean, that's not wrong to make that jump.
I mean, it looked halfway decent too when you saw that, you know, Maposhka jumps and he was looking for that Winter's Curse, and he immediately gets silenced, right? So you're feeling like, oh, okay, you know, we've interrupted their plans. But again, you've got these stick charges. You've got, you know, the lifesteal over on a Monkey King. You just have all these little tiny factors that they just happen to go the way of Spirit. And there's only so much that you can do to compute all those things in your brain while you're playing the game. It
felt perfect. I don't know, like, it felt like a really good initiation from Spirit. But I don't know. Even Yatoro, like, maybe he was on the strength power treads. It's like, if any little thing was off, then Yatoro would have died. And also the fact that he's so farmed right now, so obviously he's got levels and items. So it's giving him the stats to survive stuff as well.
Oh, they want Crystallis. They see this little bug here. He's a greedy one. Hop down. They've got the dust. They'll slow him down a bit. Going in even for the Winter's Curse to make sure that he just cannot time-lapse out. So he's dead. As 5 heroes from the side of Spirit made their way to the bottom. They've removed the hard carry from the side of Secret. And they're just gonna keep on rolling with this Reign of Terror now.
Dire structures are fortified.
A little bit of that rolling thunder coming out. Toronto Tokyo sees himself the techies. Isn't gonna be able to quite get him, but they still have the vision, so maybe they will. In fact, they'll slow him down with the defusal. Mira nearby. Puppy also standing here. They go for the snowball play. Go with the swashbuckle. They'll hit the punch. And a dead techies.
Spirit, once again, I mean, we've seen this from a lot of their games. They're very quick at sweeping across the map after they get one pick off to, like, the obvious location where the enemy team is going to start split pushing to try to get their waves out. Because, of course, like, when your team is dead, what do? You push the waves so the enemy team can't just, like, run down and take a tower. So Spirit is, like, preempting that by just going mid and instant rolling. And now they're doing it again. They're going Rezo on top here.
Yeah, they pinged him out pretty quickly. He has a teleport available, but I think they have too much CC. I don't think he makes it out alive. Indeed, he does not. 10K net worth lead, 25 kills on the board for Team Spirit. And they're still going. Look at this. They popped the drums. They're like, hey, there's a Nisha here. They have the blink on this Wyvern if he wants to try to jump in. Does have the Winter's Curse. They'll find themselves an Arcane Rune for collapse over on the side. They'll find themselves a techies instead. They're happy with this.
Miposhka picked up a gem as well because the game is at the point where Team Secret, their way back in is to split push and delay, push the waves. And the way that you do this safely is you do it through vision, through knowing where the enemy team is so you can get out. So Miposhka's going to try to deny all of that. He's about to get a ward. Maybe? No, he's not going to check it down there. GG.
You can see that Nisha's just trying to find farm wherever he can. Try to do this safely. Does not have a teleport. Look at this. Look at Miposhka. He's just like, hey, there's someone over here. Nisha just beelining it out as fast as possible as they end up losing their top tower. Man, I feel like Spirit is just dismantling them right now.
Yeah, they are. I really like this ward from Miposhka, by the way, in his own triangle, because he knows that eventually Secret is going to need to go there in order to split push and in order to farm. Like, once Spirit moves across the map and goes into Secret's triangle, like, where's Secret gonna go? And he also didn't ward Secret's triangle before leaving because he knows that once they leave there, Puppy's gonna walk through and ward that, and they're more than comfortable, or to de-ward that, and they're more than comfortable just walking back into the area without wards because they have that sort of gold lead. Really cool, like, supporting and vision game coming out of Miposhka, actually.
I really love that, actually. Like the foresight, right? Like, you're thinking 3 steps ahead in the way that you're warding, because, you know, you're moving it together as a team. So, you know, yeah, you in typical games, you'd be like, okay, if we're gonna go invade this area, we're gonna go ward. But the way that he's thinking is like, all right, we're so strong right now that as long as we're together and we walk in together, we're not gonna have a problem. So we're gonna just drop the wards over into that triangle area so we can keep tabs on them, because that's exactly where they're gonna be. I love that. I think that's such a cool way to be able to think about the game. I think a lot of people don't.
He just drew a line between the 2 wards that he put, by the way, in game. And I've seen a lot of supports do that, like draw the line and then say something. I'd be so curious to ask, like, what it is that he said in that moment. Like, what does the line represent? You could, like, learn a lot if we knew what he said. I'll try to remember if they end up.
I'll
winning.
write it down. I'll write it down if we get an interview with one of them later. They go for the Rolling Thunder. They've already teleported outside, and they are smoked, so they're going to make their own sweep over on the side of Secret. They know that they were going to be going for that bait for the techies, but I like the way that Mira's body is placed here. It's going to be able to break any sort of smoke, and look at this. It does indeed break, and they ping it. They see. Mira, okay, he's going to be the one who gets jumped on, but again, the Winter's Curse. They'll still end up losing Mira. Good positioning coming out from the side of Secret, but now they'll follow up with the Wukong's command, hitting over onto 3. They're going to obliterate most of these over here as they'll follow up with the punch. Crystallis can't even do a thing in this fight. He is just locked down, sapped of his damage, and Team Spirit's running a train at him.
Yeah, Resolution pings Winter Wyvern is missing. He's saying, we need to go on Wyvern, otherwise he's gonna Winter's Curse immediately. And I mean, you could maybe even argue the same thing for Tusk. That's the problem here. Team Spirit, they have 2 heroes that are really good against the lasso. Like, sure, it's a really good Batrider game in terms of the damage that he can do, and there's no purge for the napalm, but in terms of the lasso, there's Snowball and there's Winter's Curse. So, by the way, I really like that in this fight, Collapse chooses to suck the Weaver instead of the Bat. The Bat seems like an obvious one to like try to finish off that important kill, but he goes on the Weaver so that Weaver has no damage and he has to run and can't fight. There's no way that Secret's going to turn that fight if this Weaver, who built Deso, who built entirely damage, has no damage.
Oh my god, are you serious? He tried to go and use his Solar Guardian to get out, and I think Toronto Tokyo got the bash off. So he's going to have to use his actual TP here over on the Dawnbreaker. But they've made short work of these buildings. There's the teleport coming out. The Jenkins is going to get popped. We'll turn their attention over to Collapse. He's got those spider legs, but over on the side, they get the drag over onto Yatro. And he is taking a lot of damage, but he does have that BKB here, so the Walrus Punch coming in handy. He should be able to do the trick over to Krasalsa, just not being allowed to have a game. Poposhka, he's got to go and use his heal on himself, as now you can see the sap coming out from Collapse. Nisha trying to teleport away is going to be able to do it, but now the chase is on. They're chasing after Puppy's little minion creeps over here as they turn their attention over to these racks, and they're going for a little bit of a dive. They do have the shard over onto Rezo, but again, you've got that punch. Another Winter's Curse coming out from Poposhka. They are just ripping apart Nisha, and he's dead. No buyback over on the Bat Rider. No buyback on it. They just call GG. Team Spirit are able to end the undefeated reign of Team Secret.
Yeah, I mean that's how I felt. I felt like Team Spirit would have a much better chance at this series than I think a lot of people were considering, just because when you look at their gameplay from the previous series that they've played, it's really fast, and it's also really like disciplined as well. Mm-hmm. Like they've played flawlessly to the point where one of the games was even boring because they just made no mistakes, you know, and people like to see mistakes because it's fun. It leads to like crazy stuff happening, but they just made none. And so it does not surprise me that they're the team after watching that to dismantle Team Secret. I don't think Team Secret is not going to be able to bounce back in Game 2. I think Game 2 could also go either way. In fact, I'm still going to stick to my